All right, Sid. Come to buy us around, have you?
Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project. You've encountered your share of beasts on your travels across the realm. Any ideas?
Most bones are the same. Whack 'em hard enough and they'll break. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you better. You know what an adamantus is?
I do. And I know to give them a wide berth. Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient adamantus down in Karava, near Bidza, or what's left of the village anyway. But don't expect to make quick work of the bastard. There's a reason it's lived as long as it has.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Twinside's hundreds of leagues away. That'd mean the crystal is
Massive.
There's something about it.
You alright?
Something troubling you?
No more than usual. It's just... Eda's baby
I'm sure she'd like that.
back in the north. Families let the little tykes know they were welcoming.
So?
Now, the problem is that Eda's due any day now. And I don't know if I'll be ready in time.
Is there anything I can do? All right then.
A good luck charm?
Not just then.
No. One, there's nought lucky in all the realm. Thing is, they're hard to come by.
Only the big day is fast approaching.
That or the bird whose oar sits attached to, aye. I was gonna start by asking around with travelling.
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha. I think I might make that my first port of call.
You're a good friend, Clive.
Something tells me this is...
Say what you will, Lady Karen has seen herself.
Pining for something, boy. What is it?
From Sid, that's why. And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a clap that there iron on him to...
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf. Torn away from his icons and all. Sid would always tell him, "You want my iron..." I reckon what he were looking for.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so long. Let's get that thing off you.
Doesn't sound like he wants it off.
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you? You want me to go with you somewhere?
Quick, aren't you? Glad you've been paying attention.
Not nearly as much as you have, Lady Karen.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not...
Your kindness is appreciated.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you.
Where to then, Torgal? All right, Torgal. Where are you taking me? I'm going to need a little bit more than... Do you have a better hint for... Unless... You've already given me one. Why don't we try the rook? I haven't been to the... To Port Isolde. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there. Vivian, I read your note, and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down will not be easy. Are you sure?
Please. You have always granted me your wisdom and insight whenever I asked. It's only right that I return the favor. Or at least attempt to.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is rather more trying than delivering the odd lecture. I spoke with Harpocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found, but... But perhaps it is best that you hear the details from him.
If you say so.
Forgive me, Clive, for asking this of you. But this book, it set me on the path to becoming who I am today. Its importance cannot be overstated.
Harpocrates. I've been...
Then use one who's...
Right is all, but she didn't seem keen to...
And yet I gather it didn't. Clive,
The
coveters of Ff16, one such text being a tale which could overturn, or so rumor has.
How is it that I haven't heard of it?
Why? They lurk in the shadows, emerging
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her.
by the hand of the
But what drives them?
Fine question. Sadly, all that is known of the executors can be recounted. You may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or the...
And my hunt was doomed from the... What was Vivian expecting?
Not from thin air, no. Rumors of the executors are right, but rather less so across the strait. I had a friend in the village of... Alas, I have heard naught, but though he did not mention it by name, it is possible, if you were, by some chance, able to say...
Very well. I'll be sure to pay Garnick. Let's hope one of the merchants here has what Gav needs. Excuse me.
Oh.
A silver chocobo feather.
Oh, or maybe not. Though you're not the first. There was a man stopped by the rest not long ago claiming he was attacked by a silver chocobo near some gutted hovel not far from east. Most took him for a braggart. No.
We'll see.
We've got a few rooms going spare now. You want a bed for the night? You speak to Martha.
I'll build a barricade so sturdy, even a bandit.
Just about surviving, are you? When I was a little... crap. I swore... But the wind... And thank good... Like being half of me... It ain't exact... And that's just... You come back and visit, all right?
Can't say it wasn't a relief to see the better part of the garden.
Are the bearers taking well to their new homes, you know? I sometimes worry how they'll manage without me to cook and clean for them.
Did you hear they're rebuilding Rosalith? I was thinking I might take my cart out that way, see how they're getting on.
It's oil. After what happened here, it's a miracle there was any left at all. This should be enough. It's still here. After all these years. A lot smaller than I remember. And you were a lot bigger. You might...
You two go on. I doubt that boat will hold a third.
If you're sure. We won't be long. Hop in, boy. This hasn't changed at all. The rookery's right through those trees. Come on. Race you there? I bet I could still beat you. Here we are. This was our hideaway. Wasn't it, Torgal? Coming here helped me to forget who I was. Or wasn't. Prince, shield. Son his mother could love. Had I been any one of those things? Perhaps. What is it, boy? This is all from the castle. And Phoenix Gate. Did you bring these here? My sparring sword. Well, well. You never stopped looking for me, did you, boy? Thank you, Torgal. For never giving up. For never forgetting. Let's take this with us, shall we? So I don't forget either. That's not the way back to the boat, Torgal. All right. I'm coming. I think I know where we're going. People always talk about the importance of putting the past behind you. But without it, we wouldn't be who we are today. And we certainly couldn't steer our way to a better tomorrow. Come on, Torgal. Let's go home. Sorry for the wait. We're ready.
How do, Trap? You've the look of a man who could do with a new whetstone? Or perhaps a bawdy etching of the viceroy?
Maybe another time. I'm looking for a silver chocobo feather.
If that's the case, rumours are all you're likely to find. No one has seen a silver chocobo for years. Word is they were all hunted for their feathers. Some northern nonsense about bringing good luck. If any are still out there, I reckon they'll be doing their damnedest not to be discovered.
You're probably right.
The hills around the rest are crawling with wild chocobos. If you're not too picky about the colour of their plumes. The hills around the rest are crawling with wild chocobos.
I've got greens of all shapes and sizes. Colours too.
Looking for shelter,
Mostly green though.
Come on inside. Just because the heavens have gone to rack and ruin, it don't mean we have to.
What are you after? Fare thee well.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Oh, 1,000 of the cashew jars couldn't hurt me.
Can I?
You wouldn't happen to sell silver
But if it's fancies you're after...
Was a silver chocobo?
Oh, yes.
It wouldn't be the first time. A silver chocobo sighted in the hills near Rhiannon's Ride. It sounds almost too good to be true. But since I'm already here... Let's go.
Can hardly make out a blooming thing.
Tracks. They're not left by bandits for a change. More tracks. I don't hear anything. Well, I'll be damned. It's all right. I'm not going to hurt you. Just borrowing a feather for my friend. Thank you. Let's get this back to Gav before they change their minds.
It was no trouble at all.
Still. Clive, how'd you get on?
Any luck? He's...
Crystal's crack. Where in the hell did you find...
It's a long story.
Right there on the road to Eastpool.
Everything up there's been abandoned for years. The empty cabin made for the perfect shelter. Though I fear my presence may have forced the poor creatures to look at...
Don't blame yourself, Clive. The Blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'd have had to move on before long. Even if you hadn't have turned up, they'll find a new home. Trust me. After all, that's what us endangered animals do. Anyway, what matters is, you managed to nick us one of their quills before they could run off. And now all that's left is to fix it to the carving.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot you don't know about the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife, and that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with.
But it weren't your Avis, Sid. I slew one of my own at...
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit.
Don't speak too soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
There we go. What do you think?
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to make an honest living.
Oh, will I? I should go and see if Ed is awake.
Give it my best.
You can give it...
There's something about it. I feel like it's...
How are you feeling?
Well... Is...
Wrong? No, nothing like that.
Go on. Did you make it?
We did. Aye. It's from all of us here at the... It's a good luck charm. I mean a baby. To let them know that they're part of the family too. Oh, I hope you like it.
I don't know. I thank you, my lord.
If there's anything you need,
I will.
Fancy a swift off.
I could be convinced. Don't you think you've had enough?
Oh, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day. My mum told us she was with child again. I was over the fucking moon. I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over. What with me being the runt of the litter. Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother. Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. My whole family gone in a blink. while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
Have you finished?
Maybe.
Do you know why you're our best scout? Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination, I don't know where we'd be. Maybe hanging off a cliff like,
That was only the once.
Exactly. You learned from it. And here you are after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
Your brother.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword. I may have had one too many.
You may have had 10 too many.
I said I was thirsty. Better get back to work anyway, after I walk this off. Clive?
What is it?
Thanks for, you know.
I know.
Do you think... they'll come back?
Why the hell would Victor take the bearer's side?
Thanks, but I'll be traveling.
You're really going to go through with...
I am. But before I go...
If it's within my...
It's the children. And if I leave them here, they surely will. I can think of only one place where they are certain to be safe.
Of course.
Thank you, Clive.
Lubor!
What is it, Ferda? You look pale.
There's been a flood in the Velcroy. A damn big one. The League of Outlaws encampment was completely submerged in ether.
What?
Every last one of the bastards has turned.
Bandits are one thing. But Akashic bandits are quite another. The town guard won't stand a chance against them. We need to evacuate. There's no... Further, gather the men. The Akashic may strike at any moment. We must make ready to cover the town. Well, what are you waiting for?
Yes, my lord.
Clive, change of... The children stay with me for now. I need you to find Conrad and Natalie. Tell them to prepare for a full and immediate evacuation.
Understood.
I'll do what I can to convince everyone else. Wish me luck.
What's an Akashic?
You have to listen to me.
I think we'd better shut up.
What's Lubor raving about now?
Oh, what's the point in encouraging people to have a bath to raise their flagging spirits when they're sure to be crushed again the moment they get out?
You lied about being one of us, and you're lying now.
How long do we have until these
Why do
Akashic
you always
arrive?
have to make such a
Huh?
Ah, it's you.
What do you want?
To pass on an important message. There's been an ether flood out in the Velcro. The camp where the so-called League of Outlaws were gathering has been swallowed. They're no longer just bandits. They're Akashic now. You need to begin preparing for a full-scale evacuation right away.
Oh, do we? And...
Lubor, perhaps? The man spreading the... You may believe his lies, my lord.
But why would he lie about something like this?
Some twisted attempt at revenge, perhaps. If he had not been unmasked, he may well have been elected our leader. A great honor for one of his kind. One he might well feel aggrieved at having been denied.
Lord Underhill, forgive me, but it has become all too evident where your sympathies lie. Lubor cannot be trusted, and neither, therefore, can you.
You may not trust me, but for the sake of your people, ask yourselves if there is any chance that this is true.
There isn't. You can be certain of that. Now be off with you.
You're making a mistake.
Come, Clive. If our words will not move them, then we must find another way to help save the town.
Right.
Listen to me.
Let's speak to Lord Further.
We need to evacuate.
Know your place, bearer.
I think we'd better shut up.
What's Lubor raving about now?
Lord Further.
Sid.
I went to warn Conrad and Natalie about the Akashic. They've convinced themselves that nothing Lubor says can be trusted. The bloody fools. Which means the town guard can't be counted on for support. But I can. If there's anything I can do to help you defend Dalamil, you only have to...
I appreciate it.
Sid! Further! I've been looking for you everywhere.
Victor?
I couldn't abandon a friend in need, and Lubor is in need at this very moment. Come quickly.
You have to believe me. The Akashic are coming. They don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't tire, and they don't care who they kill. They're unlike anything that's come before. There will be no parley, no mercy granted. We may have saved the town once, but this is different. I do not ask that you forgive me, but please believe me. If you do not run, you will die. You will all fucking die!
You'd like that, wouldn't you, bearer?
Yeah, with us out of the way, your kind will be free to claim Dalamil for yourselves.
You who should run!
Run, bearer!
Yeah, run!
Run!
Far, far away!
Run!
Just go!
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes! Go!
Come on, then.
Go on! Go!
Just go.
Lubo, wait. Someone's coming.
Go.
Come on! Stop! You're hurting him! Ah! Ah! Oh! Oh! What did Lubor ever do to you? He solves all your stupid problems, and he keeps all of you safe. You know there's nothing he wouldn't do for this town. Who was it who made that cleaver you use every day, Conrad?
And what about your counting table, Natalie? Who fixed that?
Whose men make sure the streets are clean so all your boots don't get dirty?
Who spends all day, every day making sure things run smoothly round here? And none of you ever say thank you. Ever.
But did Lubor ever complain? Well, does he ever stop smiling?
He keeps this whole place going. And you act like it doesn't even exist!
Lubor, we've heard enough.
Wait!
We will not run. The town guard will not abandon the very place it is sworn to protect.
And I will not give up for lost the stores that we labored so hard to fill.
So tell us, how do you propose we deal with these Akashic of yours?
We won't run, but we will fight.
All right, then.
Fine. Gather round if you don't want to die.
Allow me to explain the situation. The ether flood occurred near the village of Cheratina, deep in the Velcroy. The place had been abandoned for years, until the League of Outlaws decided to make it their base of operations. Now they're all turned, and if the scouts' reports are correct, heading in this direction.
They are mindless monsters, driven only by hate and rage. And they are utterly unpredictable. With the bandits, we at least knew how and when. When these creatures come, Dalamil will have the bitch. The town guard will muster at the north gate. Both forces will provide men to serve as scouts and messengers, ready to spread word of the size and nature of the Akashic force, and as soon as it has been, we will converge on its position and see that it is driven back from Dalamil at Conrad. Can I count on the support of the town?
Always.
I leave the selection and coordination of the and the command of our men in yours, Ferd.
Consider it as you wish.
Natalie, I would ask that you and your people have the townsfolk barricade themselves and tell the merchant not to waste time securing anything beside the essentials. Preserving life is our one and only concern. As long as we survive, it doesn't matter what trinkets we might lose. Our riches can be regained. And if anyone doubts that, let it be known that the Briar's Kiss stands ready to cover any losses.
Very well. I shall tell them.
Where do I fit into this plan? Where else but the most perilous place of all? I would like you to travel to the home of our erstwhile League of Outlaws, Cheratina itself. The main host is most likely still there, and Dalimil will not be safe until it is eradicated, root and branch. A little gardening. How pleasant. I doubt it. I have a feeling these weeds will be particularly stubborn. Luckily, so am I. So you are.
All right then, we all know what we have to do. Now it's simply a matter of doing.
Looks like everyone's ready. I'd better not keep them waiting.
Good. That will keep some of them out. Any man sighting an Akashic is to raise the alarm immediately. The messengers will see that our entire force rallies to that position. We stand together or we fall alone. Do not forget that.
Dalimil will be safe with us. You have my word.
Ready, go?
Faster!
There it is. The flood. But what's waiting for us inside? Straight home now. Can't leave a single one alive. The League is disbanded. I should get back to Dalimil and see how the others fared.
All the Akashic we were able to find have been dealt with. Seems that might be the last of them.
Last of them here, perhaps.
Lubo, Sir Clive has returned.
Clive! What?
It's done.
I knew you wouldn't let me...
Thank you, my lord.
Friends, the Horde has been driven back, and we need not fear the arrival of any more, thanks to Clive. Victory is ours.
We bloody did it!
We saved
Lubor, after all you have done for this town.
But we did. We only hope that you can forgive us.
We need you, Lubor. So, if you would still like to be considered for the position...
You do remember that I'm a bearer, don't you?
We do. But that is not a stain on your character. It is a stain on ours. We thought only of what we perceived bearers to be, not what you...
I see. But I will only accept your proposal.
Name them.
Firstly, that you will both do everything in your power to rally your people to my cause. If the Town Guard and the Merchants League do not accept my leadership, it will be doomed from the start. Unity is the key to defending Dalimil, and I do not doubt that we shall need to call on our combined strength again. When that time comes, I will expect us all to pull together, just as we did today.
Of course. You have our word.
And secondly, you will accept that if I am to lead you, the mistreatment of bearers must end here in Dalimil. Any bearer within our walls shall be afforded the same rights as any other citizen. They will not be judged by what they are, but who they are.
As we failed to do, and came so close to losing everything.
We agree to your conditions. And we have only one in return. That you continue to work for the good of Dalimil, as you always have.
Condition accepted. Well then, it seems my mayorship is all but confirmed. Do I get some sort of special hat? How, not so long ago I had and now, here.
Lubo.
Fear not. You are, of course, relieved of your responsibility. I would sooner face another horde of Akashic than see them brought up as outlaws. I'll make sure they're safe here.
I don't doubt that you will, and not just the children.
I'll do my... Can't have all your hard work going to waste.
Are those bellows easy to work then?
I've got a new design for
Take a
blade.
bit of getting used to. I feel like an apprentice again.
Welcome to Dravoj, Sid. Our gate's always open for you and yours.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Here we are again. Karava. If you were a tortoise, Torgor, where would you hide? It looks like we found him. I better get these materials to Mid so she can finish her prototype. Mid.
Aw, you make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me.
It's most of what I need. And a cogwheel. Just gears that small are a bastard to make, and I may have...
Wait, the children. But now that I think about it,
The young'uns? I'll keep working on the model.
Sid! Is Mid still hiding from us?
She wasn't hiding. She's fine. She's just busy working on her next project.
A new invention? What is it? What is it? Is it an airship? I bet it's an airship!
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. She needs something, a brass gear. A tiny one.
Oh, the one...
We saved it, just in case.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then reassembling everything we can. All the pieces that are left over, we keep under our beds, just in case.
That's good to know.
Look! I found it! Is that all? Just the gear?
That's all for now. But I'll let...
Thanks, Sid. Back for another part. We've got screws and bolts and nails and knobbles and noodles and,
When you return, would you mind teaching the children another lesson? They did so enjoy your last.
Has Mitadol mentioned a new project yet?
Not exactly. She seems...
Well, did they... Will it work?
What exactly are you going to...
Only the most important. The wings aren't going to move on their own. Well... That should do it. Here goes nothing. Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The Mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes. Children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head, or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm gonna bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
Of course, if I'm putting this engine at the end of a treasure hunt, I'll still need to make it a treasure worth hunting for. Won't be much of a prize if it couldn't even make a toy boat fly after all. My dad always said, dream big. But it ain't the size of a dream that's important, is it, Clive? Only that it's a good one. And I reckon I've got a fair few good uns left in me.
I'm sure you do. What shall I do with your model?
What, that old thing? Not healthy to cling to your failures, Clive.
Sound advice?
Still, I suppose my prototypes will probably be worth a fair bit when I'm as famous as Bart's the Builder. Seeing as you're always strapped for coin, suppose I can give it to you. Just make sure you get a good price when you do come to part with it.
I'd say that was up to you as much as me.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Not exactly. When you return, would you mind giving...
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father?
Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them into the complete emancipation. But your father's dream did not end there. With the blight spreading ever more widely,
He wished to see men and bearers treated. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
but he thought it achievable nonetheless. Nor would he have those who would have stood with you.
It's a pity you're...
'Tis true, but one, at least...
What do you mean?
Mayhap it, after all, the duties entrusted to me.
And where is the...
She awaits you at...
Thank you. Shall we then?
Lord,
what is it?
What was by gaining an understanding.
And so you sent one of your brothers to Ash?
For as you so...
But Ash is a big place.
Perhaps. The last Mickleburg, it lie, if aught...
Right.
You go then, with...
If this new faith really is an offshoot of the Circle of Malleus, then...
Let's concentrate on finding the third chair first, shall we?
This is the required tree. Archive where we of the Undying collect and collate off.
My lord, your grace. I am Goditha, retainer of... Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a...
Lift up your head. You have our gratitude.
I merely did my duty.
My lady, what exactly is the gift?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom.
Indeed it has.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures of... Alas. He did not. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each... But it was not to be.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, not these works in progress. But with his grace long since gone, and this you are grown men now, and while I would not presume to insist, I know that nothing would have...
Thank you.
What say you?
What else? Of course, my lady.
Oh, I am much...
Do you know where we might find this?
I do. Though it may be a map, it is found in the bellies of elder griffins. We do at least know where to find one.
A certain...
You are most perceptive, your grace. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been... Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield, it would surely make your father proud.
What say you?
What else?
The griffin your father meant to slay is currently nested.
Titan's Wake is to the south of here.
Let's go.
Yeah!
Eyes peeled, Joshua.
There it is. For House Rosfield.
this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Goditha will know.
Here's the scraps you were after.
Thank you for the deal, Ed, mister. Mummy made a pottage from it.
Sounds delicious.
Careful how you pack that leather. Any creases or scratches will bring down the price.
Oh, thank the Griffin is...
And the Heartstone.
Yes, this radiant luster like frozen flame. It is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your Grace, your father would be so proud.
Lady Goditha, the lapidary is ready.
Thank you, Cyril. If you would excuse me, I shall... The armbands are prey. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet. And the graven vines encircling the stone.
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be realized.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield, as brothers in arms. Only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, his heirs. But this was more than just a message. It was a promise. That he would always be with you.
Thank you, Lady Goditha, for remaining the steadfast custodian of our father's will.
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasure, even if the armbands were incomplete. She would so...
How? Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but of the deep love he had for both of you. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewellery be sent away from the castle. I tried to warn your father. When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the armbands and I fled into the...
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, and so my pursuit continued. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered.
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father...
As do I.
Thank you, my lord, for coming back to us. I remain your faithful servant, my lord.
The Undying are not the only secret fellowship in this realm, you know. There are others, each working for their own ends. Why, not so very long ago, a society committed to discovering how one might cast magics without a catalyst was found to be operating throughout Valisthea. They were denounced as heretics, rooted out, and driven from our shores, never to be seen again.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is. And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, Might I suggest that you may let him see that you have received his...
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive? Shall we pay your father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. Since the day we recovered it, I prithee claim it. And I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
Do you see that too?
Papa?
What is it? Oh, please. I'm scared.
No use calling Ambrosia now.
Have care.
It can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you!
Allow me.
I don't need your...
Please, Field Marshal, oblige him.
This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men, finish him.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you in?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoned, but I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones, I know I made them for the right reasons. For so long, so many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision all along. Now we have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we must stand together, even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are no ordinary outlaw. I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed word, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen.
I'm flattered, and I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator. And I may know just the person.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw too?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very well. Send your...
I shall.
My Lord Marquis. Your Lord Uncle bade me escort...
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good.
Huh. An envoy. I'm not sure I'm the man to talk anyone. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. Someone like Quentin. Quinton.
Do you now? Something tells me. Go on, then. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself
You know that's not what...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might...
So you'll join us? Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for long. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape.
Reckon Master Quinton could argue an egg back up a hen's quim if he set his mind to.
Any statesmen we speak with are liable to resist our entreaties.
Quinton's gonna build us new Lostwing, and I'm gonna help.
We may be bruised, we may be battered, but we won't stop fighting.
Reckon Master Quinton could argue an egg back up a hen's quim if he set his mind to it.
Any statesmen we speak with are liable to resist our entreaties if they feel that what little power remains to them is at stake. They must be dealt with skillfully. I shall not repeat the errors of my past.
Uncle, I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Ha! Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution. And I suggested a certain Imperial Lord Magistrate turned Liberator.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his. But yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward, Rockford, from a horde of bloodthirsty bandits.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle-axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with Akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. Two such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends?
I can't stand the man!
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal!
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw!
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes, and I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, Mike Will. Well, my boy, the stage is set.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall. And there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
Sorry, can't take you where you need to get to. But the old army will be...
Come on.
Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies? That I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us would have made all the difference.
He's just back there. Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward, then?
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
Not here. Come on. Faster!
This be Nickelberg.
Straight home now. These people aren't turned. And the village seems... What is going on here?
Ah. Did you, too, heed the call?
Heed the call? No, I came here looking for someone. To be honest, I wasn't sure I'd find him here. Let alone all of you.
Is that so?
What are you doing here? Is this... where you live?
It is my home. The others, they heeded the call.
You keep saying that. What do you mean?
They came here to perform the rite, just as King Barnabas instructed, where they shall cast their souls.
Give them some...
Oh, Lord, let us be free us from the thought.
They want to be saved. Forgive me.
You mean the traveler from Stone? Yes.
Thank you.
They seek the same salvation Barnabas did. At least the third chair still lives. Let's go and find him.
Excuse me. Are you...
I am. Lord Rosfield.
That's right. And you must be the...
I am.
Cyril was worried for your sake.
Then I must apologize. I did not mean to trouble the bearer of the burning quill.
He said that you had failed to report.
I came here to study the followers of this new faith. You have seen them at their... They devote themselves to the veneration of praying night and day, that they might be granted respite from their woe. Serve him with all of their being. I, too, swore to devote my life to the service of my... And so I would see these people safe, that they might do their duty to their lord.
You do understand what...
I do, my lord. They would cast aside their will. I know that it may be hard to believe, but to these... Forgive me, my lord. But Did you hear that, my lord? Something is happening.
I'll go and find out what. An ether flood. Oh no. There must be something I can do. Echoes as well. Found her.
Ready, brother?
Ready. What now? We meet again. I've killed your kind before. Damn it! Don't you die. Come on, speak to me.
I had to save them, that they might have a chance to find true salvation by devoting themselves to the service of their Lord, just as I did when the Undying plucked me from the gutter and gave me a cause to believe in. A duty to serve was everything to me, and I would not deny them that fulfillment, even if they must become a Kashik in order to achieve it. Forgive me, my Lord Marquis. I did not mean to trouble you with this. My findings. Could you deliver them to Master Cyril for me?
Of course. Your duty will be done.
Look, my lord. They are saved.
They are saved. Found her. I should get this report to Cyril.
My Lord Mark, I'm glad...
I met...
Thank you.
He died protecting... I buried him in Mickelberg. I'm... sorry that I couldn't...
If you could not save him...
The villagers, they prayed to their god that they might be unburdened. Then an ether flood came. And their wish was granted. Your brother sacrificed himself that they might live, even knowing that that life...
Then he perished defending liberty.
Sid would agree.
A noble ambition. To die for one's cause, it matters not how misguided other, only that the decision we live according to the teachings of our order. We build for better or worse.
But he didn't die for your creed, and you still believe that what he did...
I believe we of the Undying are not, and this was his will.
I'd like to know this man's name, to know the names of all the Undying who've fallen in the line of duty. They died serving my house. That is my duty.
Of course, I shall fetch the Book of Martyrs. My lord, the greatest honor of my life, though our duties may differ, and were they here, I have no...
Here, take a look at my wares.
Of course. A fine choice. Go safely.
Doris is waiting for me near Balmung Dock. The longer she's out in the open, the more likely she is to be found by a Kashik. I need to hurry. There were no guards, I take it.
None manning the gates, no. It's a different story inside, though. If Chadwick was being held here...
Don't give up hope just yet. Let me check the ground floor.
Then I'll search the upper level. Good.
Just how bad are the floods inside the walls? Locked up tight. Ugh. They were feeding bearers to it. This is even worse than I'd feared. Minimal loss of Waluda lives. Even the Imperials take better care of them. Fetch!
No sign of any bearers yet. I hope you have better luck downstairs.
So this place was no ordinary prison. And I doubt they'll have taken the creature with them when they fled. Nothing but a caching down here. Hopefully things are looking better upstairs. I should go and see how Doris is getting on. No lock downstairs.
I know. Bearers die every day, and pitting bearers against a wild beast, armed, and not just those who could fight, and those who wouldn't, or could.
I'm afraid.
Then we're too late.
Don't say that.
A key. But it doesn't fit.
Perhaps it will fit one of the doors downstairs. Finish up here.
All right. If we don't find any survivors, we've risked our lives for nothing. Take care.
Let's see what we can find down here. Survivor. And she sounds close. There's no need to be... Are you alone?
Some of the guards.
Thank the...
It was worth our coming.
Ready when you are. You poor thing. What?
He fought them. He must have sent you. Where is he?
Chadwick.
Was that?
What?
We have to get out.
Doris, keep the girl safe.
All right. You put that bearer-eating bastard in the ground.
It's out there waiting for me. I can't let it live. Not if it's got a taste for bearers. Will wreak havoc if it ever leaves the prison. I can't let that happen. Finally.
Sid, are you hurt?
I'm fine. What is it?
A diary. He was here.
I'm sure he fought bravely to the last.
Chadwick.
Come on. We have...
No. I'll see that she's looked after from now on. It's the least I can do.
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days.
She is. I thank the flame.
I know. I'm sorry we were...
There's no need to apologize. How? That's the man.
I wish I could have met... I'd like to hear more about...
Of course. You already met my former master. We were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. For years, we were her daggers in the shadows. But we could never quite shake our doubts, so we escaped. After so many years of training, the pull to serve was all...
But even in captivity, and he died, not as someone...
Haida Marie is proof of that. And the curse breakers will I'll fight until my dying breath to see it done.
Thank you, Doris.